So we're going to start with finance today. Finance is one of the most important things as a new facility manager that is going to affect your life probably more than anything. The finance department, it's very important that you open lines of communication early on with them. A lot of times they don't understand exactly what your needs are, and that's going to be up to you to explain that to them. Because certainly this facilities department is one of the departments that has not the largest budget, certainly for a company, but it's going to be one of the largest and one of the ones that they're going to notice the most. They always consider all the departments to be departments where you should try to save money. And the problem with that is facilities is not normally a money-saving group. Normally you're a group that spends money in order to hold everything together. And so that's one of the pieces that in the beginning, we have to identify with your finance department. When I had a meeting with my finance department up there, did a presentation for all of them, and I said right in the beginning, I want you all to understand that, my job is to spend the money wisely, and your job is to find me the money. And they didn't like that initially, but after a while they got used to it. So just to start out, how much does it cost to run an office facility? All right, and your answer is going to be back to me, well, Gary, that depends on a lot of things. All right, well, let's go to that. Let's say it includes everything. Includes salaries, utilities, service contracts, cafe, grounds, security, administration, cleaning, parking, repairs, and maintenance, and anything else that you could think of that would go in that line. So this is the whole thing. It doesn't matter whether your facilities are being managed by your own people or whether they're being managed by contractors out there. When you look at your whole budget at once, your maintenance budget, the answer is the average is about $12 to $17 per square foot annually. Now, don't get excited. Some of you out, this is an average, and this is from BOMA. Some of you out there are going to say, well, gee, Gary, I only get $10 a square foot. Or maybe I get, for my particular facility, because I have so much redundancy and I got 2 power feeds coming in, emergency generation and security and all kinds of things going on, I run a little bit high of that. But I try to keep it as close to that range as possible. But a friend of mine calls me one day and he says, Gary, I'm looking at a job offer I got. The people are really anxious to get me. And he said, I ran through the numbers with them. I said, what's the square footage you want me to manage? And, how much is my facilities budget? So after he had done the math, the numbers came back at about $4 a square foot. And he says, what do you think I should do? And I said, just like anything, whenever anybody asks you a question, well, that depends. Depends on a lot of things. Is your facility in a remote area? Do the walls and the roof look like they're straw or thatched in some way? Are there doors and windows openings, but there's no doors and windows? You have a dirt floor. You have no indoor plumbing. There's no HVAC. There's electricity maybe an hour a day. You don't have any security because nobody knows where you are. Is it something like that? And he says, no, absolutely not. It's a office facility, relatively new in an urban environment, and he says, how long do you think I'll be able to run it for on that much money a square foot? And I said I think you'll probably run right up to failure. So one of the things that you have to look at in the beginning when you're looking at any of these things, and I try to put them in terms of some kind of rule of thumb, is, am I going to be able to operate my facility, for the money that they give me? But let's say they do give you the $12 to $17 a square foot, and you're getting about that, and you should be able to run your maintenance department on that. Is that going to be enough? Is that going to be enough to run your facility? That depends. So this does not, so the $12 to $17 a square foot is just for your maintenance costs. It doesn't include your capital renewal replacement costs. So if you have a brand new facility that just opened up, you're good for probably about 20, 25 years before your major pieces of equipment start to go. Fire alarm systems I like to do every 15 years because I don't want to wait till 20 years or something. But if you start asking for them at 15 years, maybe you get them at 16, 17 years. There's all kinds of software and other things in there. The wiring goes bad, so, but your chillers, cooling towers, Oh, come on, Gary, I can run cooling towers for 50 years. I could get 50 years out of a cooling tower. Yeah, just like those guys did down in Philadelphia with the Legionnaire's disease. There's a bunch of things that you really have to look at. You know, don't just look at the cost of replacement. Look at the cost to your facility. How much is it going to cost if you don't do it? And these are the kind of things that you have to get pushed on to your finance people.